Y'all see this? This is crazy if it's true, all right? But we're in the age of Aquarius, so everything's coming to light, all right? And we know a lot of these individuals, these celebrities as well as politicians, are child traffickers and pedophiles. We know that, all right? They don't like when I say that and speak bluntly like that, but it's true, right? But this is insane. Now, some may allege that the actual Hillary Clinton was unalive around 2019 at Gitmo, along with the original Joe Biden before the cloning and all of that nature. You feel me? Some allege that. Okay, I'm not saying it's true, but some allege that a lot of these celebrities as well as politicians have clones, and some allege that even this individual actually somewhere in an underground subterranean base, and they're parading this clone around as if it's him. All right, when a lot of these deletes and a lot of these celebrities are actually relocated and placed underground. Don't believe everything you see.
This is one of the most disturbing human experiments in American history. Today we're talking about the monster study. It was a study for researchers to see how they could destroy a child's life using nothing but shame. And once we go into the details, you'll realize that the name The Monster Study really isn't that inflammatory. It's actually pretty generous. Also, reminder, I cover a lot of dark stuff on this page, so viewer discretion is advised, but follow along if you want to hear more. The Monster Study happened in 1939 at the University of Iowa as a speech pathology study. Bear in mind, this is long before moral and ethical guidelines were applied in scientific experiments. Having said that, researchers wanted to see if stuttering could be learned, so they decided to test the theory on orphaned children. Here's how the experiment worked. The children were separated into two groups. The first group were children who already had stutters, and the second group were atypical fluent speaking children. The children who already had a stutter were praised, encouraged, and told they were great speakers. But the second group, with the kids with no speech issues, were basically psychologically tormented. Despite the fact that they were speaking just fine, the researchers reinforced that they were speaking wrong, that nobody could possibly understand them, and that they were stuttering. And if that's not bad enough, another really disturbing part of this experiment is that these kids had no idea that they were a part of an experiment at all. All they knew is that they were like taking these field trips to this college and they were just being negged by these scientists. As a result of this experiment, some of the already vulnerable, abandoned, orphan children who spoke perfectly fine before actually developed stutters, and some of them stopped speaking altogether. It turns out that constant criticism and shame can have very real, significant, and lifelong impacts, and their theory turned out to be correct. So the kids didn't know they were part of an experiment until decades later, because the monster study was buried for 60 years. It wasn't exposed until the early 2000s when journalists started to investigate it. And as a result, the University of Iowa had to issue an apology, and the state of Iowa actually had to pay a $900,000 settlement to the participants. But by then the damage was already done. The monster study showed us how damaging and potentially dangerous shame is. And if left unchecked, it can rob people of their self-worth and their identity. Remember this, because history doesn't repeat itself, but people do.
2023.
I think we should abolish jail and we should allow all the violent immigrants and... Yes.
We should allow them to what?
Stay here.
Okay.
The Democratic Party is the party of retards. They are weaponizing retards right in our face. Do y'all realize she on a college campus? She's on a college campus, which means she has some type of level of capacity to comprehend. And she is telling you, out her college campus mouth, to let the violent criminals out so they can live amongst us. This bitch retarded.
It's a very hot take, but everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Even if it is a very shit one.
Mettez les masques. Mettez les masques.
Il y a du partout. Voilà. Bien. On peut y aller? Tout le monde est prêt? Bien, mesdames et messieurs, le résultat de ce second tour a démenti
Yeah, and don't forget, people were losing their jobs because of this. I forgot where my camera was. I thought it was up here. And not only that, I still believe that this was a test to see if they can still control us. Like, basically seeing if we're still sheep.
This mom found her daughter, who was 8 months pregnant, with her head cut off.
Whoa.
Inside of her apartment days before her baby shower.
Jesus, man, her head cut off?
Completely off. It was about this girl named Lise Dodd. She was 8 months pregnant at the time, and she was super excited about having her baby. Her mom and her were texting, I think the day prior. She was having like a real dispute with the dude, and the mom got scared because her last message was pretty much, I'll let you know what's going on. She went 15 hours without hitting her mom back. She ends up going to her apartment where she stays at, walks inside, because I think she had a key. Immediately, as the mom goes in, she immediately runs out.
Damn, bro.
And she's crying, screaming. She calls the police, and she starts saying how her daughter is in there without her head, and her head is nowhere to be found.
Whoa, so the head's not even there.
So the head's not even in the house.
Yo.
Police end up getting there. It's just her body's there, and they're all wondering, where's the head? And why would this person take it? And her baby dad's name was DeAndre Holloway. They asked the apartment if they could see all their cameras from the day of up till like yesterday. They're going through the footage, and he comes out at like 6 in the morning. He was holding a laundry basket with a bunch of stuff on top of it. He drives her car to the smoke shop that was behind the apartments. It was like kind of close to it. He goes there and he goes to the dumpster behind the back of the smoke shop. You just see him toss over the entire laundry basket, and her head was inside of that laundry basket.
No way.
That's where he put her head, yeah. And these other cops that were in like a whole nother district caught him somewhere else trying to hide out. They end up seeing that these other police officers get him. They bring him back over here to Illinois. Basically, bro ends up going down for only 60 years.
911 with the address. Yeah. Hi. Listen, my daughter's, he chopped her head off.
Damn.
Crazy.
For clarification, because as we get into this, we want people to make sure that you're not just somebody with a wacky idea.
Right.
Okay? You come with some science to you. What is the official reason for the collapse of the World Trade Center towers?
Well, we're told that the planes hit the buildings, and there was an explosion and a fire, and about an hour and a half later, in the case of the North Tower, the buildings collapsed due to structural weakening due to the fires. The problem is that we don't have large gradual deformations associated with collapses, and fires in high-rises have never brought down a steel frame high-rise building at all, ever. And what we have, unfortunately, is the evidence in the Twin Towers and the third skyscraper to collapse that day, which most people don't know anything about it. We have the evidence of the 10 key features of controlled demolition. In the case of Building 7, it collapses straight down into its own footprint at free fall speed in the first 100 feet. It's dropping, as you can see, symmetrically, smoothly, at free fall speed in the first 100 feet, 2.5 seconds. This is uncanny. There's 40,000 tons of structural steel designed to resist this collapse.
Is it, what, a 47-story building?
Yeah, this is called Building 7, right a football field away from the Twin Towers.
Oh, okay, so what we're showing is left what happened. In fact, right is a controlled where you are using, or the people who made this happen, used demolition.
Indeed, and this is a direct comparison. And you can see that, indeed, almost free fall speed, free fall acceleration through 40,000 tons of structural steel. That is uncanny. So we have 700 architects and engineers demanding a new investigation as a result of this evidence and the evidence in the World Trade Center that is very explosive. Almost every architect and engineer we show this information to agrees with us that these are controlled demolitions. If we can get them to look at the information, because obviously the implications of a controlled demolition are dark for our country, because that means somebody besides Al-Qaeda was involved, because these have to be easily 3 of the most highly secure buildings outside the
panda bears.
Clearly they're fake.
Literally.
No.
Do you want to hear my argument?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not saying they're like fake. Like, I think that animals exist that are, I just think they're like Shih Tzus. They're like completely lab, like bred to be that, because they only ovulate like 3 days a year. They sleep or eat 23 hours a day. They can't defend themselves. They only eat bamboo. And a group of them is called an embarrassment of pandas. and they don't exist in Chinese history before like 1870.
Interesting. And how do they survive? They seem like such an incompetent like animal that no way they could survive.
They're and this is one of those things where if I say it, people are like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and like every couple weeks, someone will text me like, "Dude, look at this video. They literally are like retarded."
I'm gonna go find some panda videos and send them to you now.
Yeah, they just like roll down hills.
Did you see the video? I think it was China. They put dogs and painted them like pandas, and they were faking them at a zoo, and they got in trouble. It was amazing.
Dude, everyone writes it to me. I'm like, okay, every panda in the world's owned by China. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so like they own the genetics of it. You know, they started rolling it out in like 47. They sent everyone a panda. It was called panda diplomacy. Pan is like the demon, like pan, like pandemic, pandemonium. I think they might have been bred to eat bamboo because bamboo is hard to clear.
So maybe they wanted to clear the bamboo.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, well, they're black, white, Asian, and docile. Let's roll this out as like the model citizen, you know?
Perfect for Asia, yeah. It seems a little crazy, but it's possible.
Dude,
the fact of them surviving makes no sense. Like, how the fuck's a panda
Dude, they don't
survive?
ovulate. They don't F.
Yeah, they won't breed in captivity,
They won't
right?
breed. They're like, they
won't
can't
fuck,
get them to F. They're like, they just, like, they're lazy. I've always despised them. And so I'm like, dude.
Everyone else thinks they're cute, and you're like, fuck these pandas.
Oh, dude, people are like, oh, save the panda. I'm like, dude, they're useless. I despise them.
Yeah, they are pretty useless. They're just cute, but.
Allegedly. You know.
The dog ones were cuter.
Dog pandas. I think red pandas were a valid species, but I think they've been bred into an abomination.
I still find them pretty cute, man. And I mean, he just said they were made for like clearing bamboo because it was hard to clear, so they don't seem that useless.
Just a reminder that tarantulas are known to kidnap frogs and keep them as pets. I wish I was joking. You see, normally tarantulas eat frogs, but scientists realize that sometimes when a tarantula lays eggs, instead, it will keep a frog as a guard frog to protect its eggs from things like predatory insects and ants. In return, the tarantula will keep the frog safe from predators and other tarantulas. And since the frog helped out the tarantula, once the eggs hatch, the tarantula will still keep the frog as its pet or let him go and live his life. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Why does it feel like we've kind of stagnated, you know, as far as technology goes? Like, we kind of went from, like, the Wright brothers to the moon landing with, like, 60 years or something like that. Something crazy, you know? But now we've kind of, like, it feels like we've kind of stagnated. We've kind of just kind of, like, been at the same level of technology for so long. Like, where it's really not that different over the past, like, 20 years. Like, it's some big things, but, like, not like, you know, Wright brothers to the moon landing type of jump. Why was that jump so big, and why does it feel like we're not really jumping right now?
I feel like there was more innovation back in the day when we didn't have cell phones, so it's probably that.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, why are you screaming like that? I almost peed myself. Chill and ride that bike slow. What are you, training for the Tour de France out here?
Back in 1995, animator John A. Davis dusted off an old script called Runaway Rocket Boy and made a CGI demo of Johnny Quasar, completed with his robotic dog. And these were the early days of CGI. It was very blocky, experimental, but it had its own charm. After Nickelodeon saw the demo, they absolutely loved it. They changed his name, polished his look, and Jimmy Neutron was born. The original Johnny Quasar never aired on TV, and it was considered lost media for a long time. Until 2017, when the voice actor uploaded the entire demo on YouTube. So yes, before the genius, there was Johnny Quasar, and that early CGI is so nostalgic.
Johnny Quasar? Jimmy Neutron? I can't wait to fight one of these for safe drinking water.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
These connections keep getting weirder and weirder. So right at the end of this press conference where Kash Patel announces that they caught Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, Kash Patel ends it with Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Now, what's interesting is that one of the pictures that they put out of Tyler Robinson shows Tyler Robinson in his bedroom next to his computer. On the computer is a picture of an island. That island is called Goat Island, and it's located in New Zealand, that has a retreat called Valhalla. Isn't that weird?
The theory is with the elites, what they'll do, they'll put someone's death right in front of something really important so nobody else knows what else happened in the news. Yes. So it's like a big disguise. It's like a big distraction, right?
This is the theory that I was trying to talk about.
The Epstein.
Yes. Trump, he gave like letters and like a birthday book to Epstein, and it came out. This is public information. 100-something pages, doodles, pictures, there's some letters, right? There was one with a woman's body, and inside it said, "We have a lot in common, Jeffrey." And then at the end it says, "May every day be another wonderful secret." And I'm like, bro. But the one that really bothered me
is New York Representative Mike Lawler of the Republican Party. And old Mikey boy had himself a real swell idea. He decided it would be a good idea to put forward a bill which would have effectively made it illegal to boycott Israel. Yes, the legislation Mike Lawler proposed would have slapped $1 million fines and up to 20-year prison sentences to companies and individuals who followed boycott guidelines set by international entities such as the United Nations. Honestly, the UN is trash, but that's a story for another day. But John, you may be frantically screaming at your screen. That doesn't make sense. That would mean as an American, I would be unable to boycott Israel, but I could still boycott American companies? That doesn't make sense. And you'd be right. It didn't make sense. Oh, and don't forget about how it violates the First Amendment. But for once, I have good news, folks. They fucking pulled the bill, fam. They yanked it. They yanked it harder than Louis C.K. at a job interview, baby. Let's go. We did it in a rare and shocking show of bipartisan condemnation. And after millions of views on social media regarding the bill, generating tens of thousands of comments, over 30,000 shares from our community alone on the day before the bill was supposed to drop. And hey, we actually stopped it. We stopped it. Still cooked. The boycott bill was pulled last minute, late Sunday night, before it could be voted on early morning in Congress on Monday. And that, my friends, is what I'm talking about. We have the power. Let's try and remember that moving forwards, because I assure you, they will try and sneak that bill back in somehow. But we'll be watching, won't we, folks? And now,
I honestly think that this bill would have to be put into effect for people to start realizing, wow, we really need to start doing something.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter. And now that money is going to the alleged shooter's dad. Watch this.
It's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman put up $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest?
Mike Robinson was being called the father of justice, and we were told that he was involved in law enforcement. But now we know that's actually not true at all. In fact, Matt Robinson operates a family-owned construction company. The Washington County Sheriff's Office even had to issue a statement to clarify, saying Deputy Matt Robinson is not connected or related to the individual apprehended last night. But of course, the media wanted you to think that he was. Now, Candace Owens made many other claims about Bill Ackman on this episode, and he has taken to Twitter to vehemently deny all of them. But he hasn't denied this. I mean, it's totally normal, right? For just a good dad to turn in his son and then get $1 million. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
What it sounds like is they're letting their son take the fall for $1 million while the real killer gets away. And it's probably in Israel already.
Kash Patel, the American people want to know, how does it feel to be a cup for Israel? Answer the question.
We're seeing and hearing what the FBI is doing on a daily basis.
You're claiming to serve the American people. You're serving Israel. Does it feel to be Israel's bitch? You don't care about kids getting raped. The American people want to know. Patriot? He's a patriot. Rape kids? Is patriotism to
Thank
you?
you for your service, Sarah.
Raping kids?
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot? Really?
Yes, you are. I didn't say anything.
Is Prince Andrew on Epstein's client list?
The material related to Prince Andrew has been made public.
Is Prince Andrew on the client list?
We have released the index of names
All right,
that were in Jeffrey Epstein's.
Is Donald Trump on Epstein's client list?
The index has been released, and the index will speak for
So
itself.
I'm just going to say, America, there's a huge red flag. The FBI director could not answer whether Donald Trump was on Epstein's
Gentleman's time
client
has
list.
expired.
I yield back.
Long story short, yes, Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. That's why all this crazy stuff is happening, because they're trying to do as much as they can to cover it up and just sweep it under the rug. Because that's what's going to happen. Nobody cares enough to do anything. We're all just going to forget about it in a couple years, and what are you going to do? And then when Donald Trump is like no longer president or dead, oh, undeclassified document of Donald Trump and the Epstein list. Like, everybody should know how this goes already.
ישו היה פה בארץ הזאת.
Gesù ha vissuto qui.
דיבר עברית.
Parlava ebraico.
ארמי.
Bro was trying to lie to the Pope about Jesus.
Hollywood is an incredible story. The entire superstructure of civilization is a combination of brilliantly put together schemes to direct the minds of the people in such a way as to serve their masters. And one of the biggest tools in the hands of the masters who run this world is Hollywood. Ancient Europe was ruled over by a priesthood called the Druids that dominated Europe. It still does. Europe is still a Druidic country. And America is a Druidic country. But one of the most important symbols in the Druid system was a magic wand. Like Merlin, the magician with the magic wand, the orchestra leaders and conductors always have a magic wand. And you have better played the tune of the master. Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. And Hollywood is a Druidic establishment. And the symbols, the words, the stories are designed. And so that's why today, in the Western civilizations, our ability to work with each other and live together as humans is so screwed up. Because we've been watching so much television and so many movies and so much silliness coming out of Hollywood that people have no idea in the world how to live anymore.
Mr. Thilly, I started your time.
Well, why did our taxes go up so much?
Thank you, Mr. Thilly.
Your headlight is a crime. That's the reason why I'm trying to make
Oh my God!
At what stage does having children become worth it? Because I was with some friends the other day and they're all talking about their kids, how they love their kids. I'm the only one who doesn't have kids. I need to have kids. Then later on in the day, we were talking about what our dream day off would look like. And every single one of them do. They all go, grandparents take the kids for the day, and then I get to sleep in as late as I want. And then I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee and drink it in total peace. No interruptions. And then, I don't know, maybe go for brunch. And then I'm going to spend the afternoon at the beach. Just laying out on the beach. No responsibility, no worries. Just me and the sounds of the waves. And then I'll come home and just have a cozy night in, maybe order a pizza, watch a movie. And I was like, you guys are literally describing my life. Like, oh yeah, no, but kids, like, no, like, I literally do that exact day 3 or 4 times a week. Like, yeah, but we love our kids. You need to have kids still. Like, I'm living all of your guys' dream days. Why would I change that?
Why doesn't the church pay taxes to the government? It's because the church is the government. They have the exact same morals. Stay positive, work hard, don't question anything because it's part of a much bigger plan that you could never understand. We had to blow up our own buildings because we owed $4 trillion. You wouldn't understand. Thank you. I love you guys. You guys are my favorite people in the world.
Oh, careful, careful. You almost stepped on it.
What? What are you talking about?
You almost stepped on a crack, and you know what happens to your mom if you do that.
Dude, that's not real.
Yes, it is. I swear it's real.
What?
I heard it.
What?
No, no.
You okay?
Yeah, my back is just kind of feeling like it's...
Oh, careful, careful. You almost stepped on it.
What? Oh, I love that girl. I love that hair. I want her hair.
You're a pirate.
Can I buy your hair? I'll pay you millions.
What were you going to tell the president?
Wow. I vote for you.
This scene always gives me chills.
Hey, did you know that government officials have covered the grass area where Charlie Kirk was shot with a massive slab of concrete? That's not sus. Let's address a few things. Like, okay, first off, Charlie Kirk's wife and her speech. I've been sent multiple videos. A lot of people saying she acted weird. And I agree, it was off-putting, but I don't like to try and dissect someone's grief. Just like, listen, shit makes people act weird. Imagine losing someone and then having a bunch of cameras thrust in your face and knowing that tens of millions of people are going to be watching you. I don't know, man. I don't like to go there. The hands from the pictures in the casket. Yeah, they look super fucking orange. It's weird. But maybe they fucked up the embalming. I mean, frankly, the turnaround time on Charlie's body, I've been messaged by undertakers and morticians, and they say it seems really, really, really fast. So maybe they botched it. I don't know, bro. I'm not going to try and sit here. I don't want people running around focusing on the wrong things. I want to focus on why this happens. And to me, those answers that I'm kind of coming to seem to be revolve around war and the Epstein list. He also denied funding from a certain person. You know, so that's what I'm going to focus on, fam. I'll let everyone else run around dissecting videos and trying to prove, you know, I don't know what they're trying to prove. I guess that this didn't even happen. See, I've never been a fan of that. I think most of the time, tragedies, people do die. These tragedies are occurring, and then they're twisted to make us fight with each other. And we're doing it. We're doing a great job of that. So just want to say thanks to everyone for falling in line and being good, little, predictable peasants. Stay safe. Oh, one thing I will add. There's like 250 men and women, American congressmen and women in Israel right now. Secretary of State's there. I don't know, man. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, as an American, that should piss you off. As a Canadian, it pisses me off. Be a good time to hold your politicians accountable, folks. But I'm sure that's completely unrelated to the Charlie Kirk stuff.
He's right. They're going crazy in the comments, just arguing with each other, and it's like, bro. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. If you guys did enjoy this video, let me know by leaving a thumbs up and or subscribing if you guys are new. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I do have tomorrow's video already finished, so if we can get this video up to 150 likes, I'll go ahead and post that video ASAP tomorrow. And also, I appreciate every single one of you guys who tuned back into this channel on the regular. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.